Hey everyone, this is Corey with Stafford's EDC, and today we're looking at this monster. Um, and this is the Vosteed Gator, and it does kind of look like an alligator. This fragged green micarta kind of gets some like scale look going. This has multiple deployment methods here. You have a flipper, front flipper, thumb studs, and honestly, so much of this blade sticks out, and you can catch this grind that you can reverse flick off of the blade as well. So let's take a look at this guy. This is a big knife, and I think that goes without saying as you see just how much of the frame it's taking up. Just compared to something else here that I have on hand that I just filmed with, this is the Kaiser Escort. Yeah, you can see it's a little bit bigger, just to say the least. But nevertheless, it doesn't feel as big in hand or in the pocket. So let's kind of talk about that a little bit. In hand, this fits really well, and I think part of it is this little hump here that goes back down. It makes it feel less chunky than it is because your pinky's kind of sitting further back than it would otherwise be. It's not up here, it's sitting further back, and thus makes this quite comfortable to hold like this. And then you have this area right here that if you do choose to choke up, you can get right up on there, and this is nice and comfortable as well, and it doesn't feel like you have a ton of handle sticking out because that gets smaller and as it tapers towards the back. This also keeps you off the full height of that pocket clip too, which makes it nice and comfortable to hold up here, though I do find it to be a touch narrow in this area when you're up in this choil. It's not bad though. And then in pocket, this is a wide knife, certainly at points, but it starts out narrow, and where this sits in the pocket, all the wide parts that kind of would jab at your hand are all tucked away towards the seam. So you really just have this little pretty unobtrusive flipper to deal with. You can see spine comes in here, the back side of the blade, really putting this part and this part in less than a straight line. This is actually shorter, so it kind of keeps your hand from hitting this when going into the pocket. So the overall design has definitely been thought out, and let's just talk. I mean, you can look at this and you can see where where the gator came from. This looks a lot like an eye, and a nose, the big snout, and then you have the scaled body. It's quite obvious to me anyway. You can see there is a filler tab, so this is a reversible clip on this knife, meaning you can make this lefty friendly, not left-handed because it is still a liner lock, but certainly lefty friendly. Apologize for shaking the camera there, just kind of showing off the action. This is tightened up significantly since I've had it just sitting here. This was dropping shut under its own weight, and I can probably loosen it up a touch. Definitely would benefit from something like a drop of KPL. If I could get my damn driver, that'd be great. Just do a little bit of a turn. Centering is still good. No play. Yeah, that's much closer to what it was like. And again, with KPL, I could probably get it to be even smoother, but it's certainly dropping a lot more on its own. Yeah, you can see that action's great, largely because this is such a big, heavy blade, and this kind of cutout here takes a lot of weight out of the middle and puts a little bit more into the end, which helps it with this kind of a swing, and then just a little bit of effort to get it to close the rest of the way. The detent is absolutely money on this. Flies out with the flipper, and it's honestly borderline hard to use this flipper. Not hard as in like difficult too much, but it'll roughen up your finger a little bit, but it works really well, and it's perfect for this knife. It's exactly how stiff it needs to be to get such a big knife to deploy. Front flipper works just fine as well. The detent's set nicely for that. This being such a big knife, it's a little awkward to do the front flip, but it does still work. And then of course you have the thumb studs, which are on both sides. You can see here reverse flick works fine, and then getting under there with your thumb of course works great. The blade besides looking like an alligator's head, has it's like a 60% flat grind here. I'm gonna have to close the blade, kind of show this off. You can see comes up to right here, this grind. So, and it gets pretty thin because this does not have tremendously thick blade stock for being such a big blade. You're talking maybe 1/8 inch blade stock, potentially a little bit thinner. And then that grind gets, like I said, fairly thin, so you do get pretty good cutting performance out of this. You can see the tape schmutz that's still on this. I'd certainly need to clean this off before I send it to the next person. But this one surprised me with just how well it cut and just how nice it was in hand. Is it weird and ridiculous? Yeah, absolutely. It's a huge monstrosity of a knife, but it's well done, and you can make a damn pocket sword, and as long as it's done well, I'll be happy with it. And I can recommend it to people who like the design. Now, I wouldn't tell everybody to buy this knife, but if you're loving this and love the way it looks and the size, absolutely get one. These are really well done. 154 cm and micarta, kind of hard to go wrong. Would make a great user, really utilitarian with that blade shape, and would just be good to use overall. So, that's my thoughts on this one here, this Vosteed Gator. Really odd, but really good. So, hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you think about the Gator down below. And with that, I'll leave you there. So thanks so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Take care.